Did you hear my man, Tony Romo? He threw that Jordan out there. The right time, been ahead of the curve on this Jordan thing, and people talk crazy to me about this, but what more do you need to see before you recognize this man, Jordan? I'm just asking, what is it that people are looking for? And part of why I make this Jordan comparison, and this is important for people to understand where I'm coming from, is I remember my dad, by like 88 or 89, was like, this is the greatest player I've ever seen. You don't need to see everything all the time. Like, we've seen, like that dude, Sean, that dude on Twitter, that when the elections be over, he ain't wait for every vote. He ain't got to wait for every vote all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like 65% of the precincts are in. I've seen enough. This is what it is, right? When Mahomes at this point, it's like they just closed the polls in California. I know who's getting those electoral votes. I know which way that was going. And who knows, something could happen. Mahomes get hurt. I don't know what it is. But what I've seen from him in this stretch, to me, and this is where I come from here, okay? Peak greatness matters more than anything else. Peak greatness. Longevity, wildly overrated to me. Peak greatness. When I'm talking about, and in fact, longevity is overrated to me when I'm talking about who is like the greatest of all time. And when I think about what makes you the greatest of all time, it is you at your greatest. And if you have an ability to sustain that level of greatness, then I'm here to have the discussion, okay? Mahomes being as great as he has been for 6 years, let alone his first 6 years as a starter, but just 6 years in general, is unreal, okay? This starts with 5,000 yards and 50 touchdown passes. Like, that's where it begins. And then gradually getting to this point, we're recognizing, I can't even really do it like that anymore. We got to go out here and we got to run. We got to run a little more four corners, right? We got to move that ball around a little bit more. We just can't be out here playing like we was playing before. And still getting it done, right? A loss in a Super Bowl and 2 losses in overtime. Those are the 3 losses that Patrick Mahomes has had in the postseason. On the other side, 3 Super Bowls with 3 Super Bowl MVPs. And in all 3 cases, definitely was the Super Bowl MVP. He's Jordan, doing it and doing things unlike anything that you have ever seen before. Doing it in ways unlike anything that you have ever seen before. And now doing it with a bunch of dudes. Because the thing about Jordan is this: you can say what you want about that second three-peat, but the argument that people make against him that is not the worst in the world is look at the competition that he faced in the postseason, deep into it, and the competition that he faced in the NBA Finals, and how good those teams were or were not. Fair point. Counterpoint. He was out there on a team where the second best player was Scottie Pippen. That's right. I said it. The second best player was Scottie Pippen. That's what Jordan was out here doing. Jordan's so good, Scottie Pippen in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, that's right. Jordan's so good, Scottie Pippen is in the Hall of Fame. That's where he's at, okay? Mahomes is that guy. You look at the receivers, post Tyreek Hill in particular. He's that dude, man. He's everything. Will he ever amass the resume of Tom Brady? I don't have an answer for you on that. Because the thing that's wild about Tom Brady is this. I said this about like the Tiger Woods comparison to Mahomes, or just think about Tiger Woods, okay? When we're talking about whether or not he would get to 18 majors, what's so wild about getting to the 18 majors is that Jack Nicklaus had to win the 18th. The 18th major was the 86 Masters, where he came back. He hadn't won a major in 6 years before that, or whatever it is. But to get to that one, he had to pull one straight out of his keister. And Tiger Woods, that last one that he won was the one that he pulled straight out of his keister. Tom Brady went 10 seasons without winning a Super Bowl, right? It's the 05 season through the 13 season. So that's 9 seasons. That's 9 straight seasons that he had without a Super Bowl. And what was stunning about that is that he came back on the back end of that and won how many more? 14, 16, 18, 20. Won 4 more on the back end. That's nuts. Nuts. Okay? Like, if Patrick Mahomes was Tom Brady, he'd have these 3 at this point in his career and could not win 9 more, and that would still be on the same pace as a Tom Brady. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what's so unreal about Brady, is that all the ones that were won, they were in such different ways from the first run through the second run and what was asked of him. And the strangest part, when he was the best player that he was, which was from that 05 to 13 stretch, that's the best Tom Brady. That's the Tom Brady with the undefeated season. That's the Tom Brady that without Randy Moss, I want to say either had 37 touchdowns and 4 interceptions or 39 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. I want to say that was the 2010 year. But that version of Tom Brady didn't win any. Like, all kinds of things could happen here in the evolution of how this rolls where Mahomes goes. For me, I'm not doing this just by checking off accomplishments. I'm not using what's written down on paper. I'm going to do a little something called thinking for myself. And for me, that guy is Jordan. That's who that dude is. That is the best quarterback that I have ever seen. That guy is Michael Jordan. Period.
Prize Picks is the most fun you can have by winning up to 25 times your money. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Prize Picks is really simple to play. You can make your picks and submit your entry in less than 60 seconds. So make sure you go to prizepicks.com/Bomani and use code Bomani for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/Bomani. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.